Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, I'll be showing you guys 15 things that some people tend to remember wrong about the Halo series as a whole. So, some of these things are, basically bugs or things that were changed or broken on MCC that people got used to, but they forgot what it used to be like on the old games. So they remember it differently. Or other things were, maybe features or certain aspects of the older games that people haven't, seen in a while, and so they also forgot those existed or remember them differently. So that's what we'll be taking a look at for today's video. So let's get right into it. The first one, I want to get like the biggest one that really like blew my mind recently. And that is the fact that the Halo 2 missions, Heretic and the Armory, the two intro missions and the tutorial mission, these two missions do not support co-op at all. They don't support online co-op on MCC. They don't support split screen co-op either. They never did either. On the original Xbox version, those missions on Halo 2 also did not support co-op. There was never any co-op support for the missions Heretic and the Armory. And yet I, and many people actually, when I did a video on this in the comment section, a lot of people agreed with me. We all remember like being able to do co-op on these two missions. We all have like very vivid memories of like playing with like a friend or a relative doing co-op, but it just never existed, and it was never like that. And that's one of the things that a lot of people remembered wrong about Halo 2. This next one was also another one when it was first pointed out to me. Like it also kind of blew my mind a little bit because I never really noticed this little detail. But at the beginning of the mission, Savo Highway. In this room here, there's an injured Marine and a medic Marine, or just a Marine, with a medical scanner, just checking his vitals and stuff with a handheld scanner. But if you look closely, that Marine, the scanner, is invisible. It's not there in the game, and that's actually a bug. And it's like that on ODST as well with the crazy Marine Easter egg. But I could have sworn back in the day that the Marine did hold a scanner, and I never really noticed an issue with the missing scanner. But as it turns out, even on the Xbox 360 versions, even like the actual one on the 360, not the backwards compatible version, the Marines never had a medical scanner in their hands. It was always invisible. It was always broken. So that's another one that kind of blew my mind too. Now this next one, I also remember this one differently too, and I've heard a lot of people remember it differently as well. But at the beginning of the mission Uprising on Halo 2, there's a dead elite here on the ground next to an energy sword, who, once you pick up the sword, he starts talking, and he'll say like, the counselors, the brutes have betrayed you, and the counselors are dead. And, well, actually, I know I didn't play it out loud there, but if, on the China version of MCC, there actually are in-game subtitles for this, so you could see what the elite says here. So the elite does actually talk. And I remember in some previous videos, people have disputed whether the elite talks, but the subtitles here prove the elite definitely talks, and despite the poorly typed subtitles there, you could see what the elite says. Now, the elite talks, but his mouth doesn't move, and some people remember his mouth does move when he talks. But because the mouth doesn't move anymore, people believe that like the elite doesn't actually talk, and that's the Arbiter or someone else. But it's actually broken. If you hit the elite, then his mouth actually moves when he's talking. Now that's not actually MCC exclusive or anything. It was always like that, even on the original Xbox version. So that's another thing that like some people remember wrong. Some people remember the elite actually talking and the mouth moving. Some people remember the elite not talking at all. Now, another weird thing is that on the original Xbox version, the body and the sword are in different positions too. So it's not only do people remember wrong, but like it's actually changed as well. A few things on the original Xbox MCC. Now this next one is also one that I had no idea of, and that's because I barely used the Grunt birthday party skull on Halo 2. But as we all probably know, we're all probably used to this by now, but on Halo 2 Anniversary on MCC, when you use the Grunt birthday party skull, you shoot the Grunt in the head, the confetti comes out and the Grunts cheer like hooray and stuff like that. We're all used to that, but it was actually never like that in the past. The original Grunt birthday party skull was this, as you can see on the original Xbox version. When you shoot Grunts in the head, they immediately explode in like a little plasma explosion. And it wasn't just Grunts either. Any AI, any character that you shoot in the head, they instantly explode. And it's not just Grunts. Even Marines, it works with them as well. So this is what the original Grunt birthday party skull was actually like. It was never the confetti and the cheering one. That was actually from Halo 3, and it was backported to Halo 2 to make it more consistent with Halo 3, I would assume. In fact, the Grunt birthday party skull originally is now pretty much the Grunt funeral skull, except the Grunt funeral skull only affects grunts, and after they die, like a couple seconds, then they explode. But the original one has been completely, it's gone, it's been changed. Now, for number 5, this is an odd one. So, about a year ago, well, maybe less than that now, I did a video where I hired Steve Downes on Cameo to redub all of Noble Six's dialogue in Halo Reach's campaign. So basically, we had Master Chief and Halo Reach campaign, literally. But a lot of people kind of disputed that video and said like there was no point in hiring Steve Downes. The whole time I could have just went into the settings and changed the voice actor to Master Chief, like as you can see here. But people confused that for the Firefight voices, and they thought the Firefight voices applied to campaign, and that you could play campaign with any voice that you select in a character customization. So that's one thing that actually surprisingly quite a few people remembered wrong about how Firefight voices worked on Halo Reach. Now for number 6, this is one that I personally never knew about actually until a while ago actually, but I used to think this was a bug. But when you have the Sputnik skull enabled and you punch enemies, or actually punch any AI character, they'll turn around and their backs will face towards you. And I used to think that was a bug. I'm pretty sure I even did like a video of it like years ago, reporting it as a bug, back when I did like bug lists for MCC. But it's actually a feature of the Sputnik skull, and I never knew that. So I always remember Sputnik skull just simply making you like jump higher when you like use a grenade jump or something like that. Now this next one I've actually covered in many videos before, so you guys have probably known this one. But if you haven't seen those videos, then well, take a good look at this map. Anything weird there? Well, if you didn't notice anything weird, then that's because you remember it wrong, and you're probably used to playing Halo 2 on nVidia graphics cards in recent times. So as you can see, when you play on nVidia graphics on the PC version, the leaves on a lot of trees, a lot of foliage, are all gone. It's actually really dead as far as plant life goes on nVidia graphics. And it took me a while to notice that sometimes too, because I simply got used to, especially when I played Halo 2 on PC sometimes. On Halo 2 Vista, it's the same, largely. And I just got used to it. I never even noticed the leaves were missing. It's such a small detail. So that's another odd one, and it still hasn't been fixed yet, so hopefully that does get fixed soon, because now that I notice it, it kind of bothers me too. And here's another one I've covered somewhat recently actually, but I'll show you guys again. So here's the Halo 4 cutscene at the end of the mission, Reclaimer, I believe it was. Might have been a different mission name, I don't remember off the top of my head, but see anything weird in this cutscene? No? Well, that's because you remember it wrong. This is the actual original cutscene. This is what it's supposed to look like. So feel free to rewind a little bit if you want, but on MCC, this cutscene in Halo 4, the lighting is totally broken, and it's just too bright everywhere, and the lighting is not natural at all on MCC. But on the OG version on 360, it's fine. But you probably, if you're played mostly on MCC, then you're probably used to it, and you probably never noticed anything was odd about it. So now you know. And likewise, it's not just Halo 4. Halo 2 has a lot of issues like that as well. Like here on the mission, during the ending cutscene of Cairo Station, you could see, you're probably used to this as well. You probably think there's nothing wrong. The cutscene looks fine. Well, look closely at the ground and at Master Chief. Feel free to rewind if you need to as well. But basically, the shadows, the lighting, all broken, and it's actually really noticeable once people actually pointed it out to me. I never noticed it either, because I also eventually got used to playing on MCC. But so you can see right there the shadow. It was actually missing on the MCC version. This is the original Xbox version, by the way. And you can see Master Chief's armor looks a lot more vibrant in color too. So yeah, a lot of broken stuff there in the lighting. Now for number 10, this is one that I also forgot about, simply because I haven't played the OG version of Halo 3 for a long time. Which, as of making this video, it was actually announced recently that the 360 versions will be getting shut down, matchmaking-wise, by next year. But anyways, on MCC, you're probably used to Halo 3 Social Slayer being, 4v4, because that's how it is on MCC, and that's how it's always been on MCC. But if you remember the old days of Halo 3, and if you go take a look at it now, Social Slayer was actually never 4v4. It was actually always 5v5. So you may be used to playing Halo 3 as 4v4 Social Slayer now, and it may feel fine to you, but it's actually never meant to be that way. It was always meant to be a 5v5 game mode. And some people who are used to that may feel like odd playing the 4v4, but if you're used to 4v4, then you know that's probably something that you probably forgot about, or maybe you didn't even see Halo 3 at the time. But moving right along for number 11. This one was one that I also... Actually, there's a lot of stuff with CE that was changed because of the Gearbox PC port, which all the changes made its way into MCC. But Captain Keyes was actually different originally, and he was changed with the Gearbox port and by extension MCC. So this is MCC Captain Keyes, and now this is the original Xbox Captain Keyes. His face and his uniform are different. Captain Keyes used to be a completely different model back in the original Xbox version, and for some reason when Gearbox ported it to PC, they changed Captain Keyes, and those changes carried over to the Halo Anniversary for 360 and on MCC. So that's one little thing that a lot of people probably forgot about if they haven't played the original Xbox version for a very long time. And likewise, another thing that broke with the Gearbox PC port is fog on the mission Assault in the Control Room. So here we are on the MCC version. If you look up in the sky, well, it probably looks fine to you, right? You probably don't see anything odd up there, right? You know, this is probably what you're used to seeing. Well, it wasn't always like that either. In fact, on the original Xbox version, if we same part of the mission, if we look up in the sky, we will see that the fog is actually all there. That's what it's supposed to look like. Not on MCC, not on Halo PC. Those games, they broke the fog. And on the original Xbox version, that's the only place you could see the this mission as it's intended, with the correct fog. But yeah, and there's actually quite many things like changed with Halo 1. So you know, I could do like a whole video covering them, but I'm just going to show you one more. And that's on the multiplayer map Hang 'em High. So here's the MCC version. This map comes up pretty often in matchmaking. So you probably played this before if you've ever played CE. And that's, you know, what it looks like on MCC. But this is what it's actually supposed to look like on the original Xbox version. There's supposed to be an additional edge to this part of the map. And on those edges, there's supposed to be lights as well, which are all missing on MCC and the Gearbox version as well. Now, for number 14. This one, it actually has been quite a bit of mystery to me for a while, and I never really noticed closely, but a lot of people remember the Gauss hog turret as, you know, working. Like when you point it at enemies, it should, you know, they should turn red, just like with a sniper rifle. It outlines enemies and highlights them when you look at the scope. But on MCC, that's not the case. On MCC, the Gauss turret only works when a vehicle is spawned nearby. It doesn't matter if it's an enemy vehicle or not, or occupied. The Gauss turret does not function unless there's another vehicle nearby. And that's actually not an MCC only thing. It's actually always been like that. The Gauss hog turret, the display there, it has never worked unless another vehicle is nearby. It was always like this. And of course, the vehicle also has to be there at a certain angle. At other angles, then it doesn't show up anymore. But as you can see with the ghost is there, then only then will the Gauss hog turret highlight things. But once the ghost is destroyed or deleted, then it just stops functioning. It just becomes a blank screen. And it was always like that, even on the original Xbox 360 version. So that's yeah, that was actually kind of trippy to me when I noticed that difference, because I thought it was broken on MCC. I thought it was a bug, but nope, I was wrong there. Alright, so this last one is a bit of dialogue that that's missing from the anniversary cutscene that I could have sworn was there at the beginning of MCC, but it turns out it never was. So, during the Outskirts intro cutscene when the Scarab shoots his pelican, you see in the subtitles one of the Marines or pilots says, "Hang on," he shouts it out. and it's only the subtitle there. There's actually no actual dialogue. But I could have sworn that, you know, when MCC first came out, during this cutscene, when the Scarab shot the Pelican, a Marine would say, "Hang on." But turns out I remembered it wrong. And a few people actually agree with me too on that. They also remember that a Marine said, "Hang on," but turns out that wasn't the case. And that line was added there specifically for Anniversary, because it wasn't there in the classic cutscene. But, you know, I've checked launch MCC, I've checked China MCC, I've checked PC, you know, Xbox, many different updates. It just, the Marine never said it. It wasn't removed or anything, it just was never there. So I guess it's a little mini Mandela effect for me as well. But yeah, it's always bothered me for a while. But anyways, there you guys have it. That's 15 things that some people tend to remember wrong about Halo. A lot of them simply because the OG games are really old and people haven't played it for a while. But anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and found it to be interesting. You know, make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy it, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if there's anything, you know, I might have missed. But aside from that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!